Have you ever forgotten something simple, like a word you've used your whole life, or where you placed your keys, and wondered if it could mean something more? Many seniors in the United States ask themselves this question every day. The truth is, dementia and Alzheimer's disease are not just a part of aging. They are medical conditions that affect millions of older adults, and the earliest signs often appear long before most people realize what's happening. Dementia is one of the leading causes of disability among people over 45, and yet it is still surrounded by confusion and myths. Some think it's just about memory loss, but in reality, the warning signs can also show up in your posture, your sleep, your mood, or even the strength of your grip. These small changes are easy to overlook, but they can carry a much bigger message about your brain health. The good news is this: by paying attention to these early signals, you can take steps that may slow down the disease and protect your independence. In today's talk, we're going to cover the most important early warning signs of dementia that seniors need to know. Before we dive in, I want to ask you something. Have you or someone close to you ever noticed small changes in memory, mood, or daily habits that felt unusual? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your story could help another person recognize they're not alone. Just drop your state or city in the comments below as well. I'd love to know where you're watching from today. 1. Changes in posture and movement. One of the earliest and most overlooked signs of dementia is a subtle change in the way a person moves or carries themselves. Many seniors assume that slower steps, stiffness, or poor balance are just natural parts of getting older. But in reality, these changes can also be signals from the brain that something deeper is happening. Dementia affects not only memory, but also motor control, because the same areas of the brain that help us think and recall also play a role in movement and coordination. You might notice someone beginning to take shorter steps, dragging their feet instead of lifting them, or leaning slightly to one side while walking. Simple daily activities like holding a cup, buttoning a shirt, or using utensils may start to feel clumsy. These changes often appear gradually, which is why they are easy to dismiss at first. But as time goes on, they can increase the risk of falls, accidents, and loss of independence. It is important to remember that posture tells a story about brain health. A slumped or unstable stance is more than just bad posture. It can reflect the brain's struggle to send clear signals to the body. If you or someone you know has noticed increasing difficulty with balance, coordination, or even frequent falls, it's worth bringing up with a doctor. Catching these early changes gives families the chance to investigate further and, if needed, begin steps that may slow down the progression of dementia. 2. Sensory problems. When most people think about dementia, they immediately think about memory loss. But one of the lesser-known early warning signs actually shows up in the way we experience the world through our senses. The brain is responsible for processing what we see, hear, smell, and taste. When dementia begins to affect those areas, everyday tasks can suddenly feel more difficult or confusing. For example, depth perception can become a challenge. A person might misjudge the distance between steps, struggle to pour liquid into a glass without spilling, or bump into furniture more often. These changes are not simply clumsiness or poor eyesight. They may be signals that the brain is having trouble interpreting information correctly. Another common change is with the sense of smell and taste. Studies have shown that losing the ability to recognize familiar scents, such as coffee or flowers, can be one of the earliest signs of Alzheimer's disease. Taste may also seem duller, which can affect appetite and nutrition. In addition, many seniors notice a greater sensitivity to noise or a harder time following conversations in crowded rooms. Untreated hearing loss, in particular, has been strongly linked to a higher risk of dementia because the brain must work harder to process sound, which increases cognitive strain. If you find yourself or someone you love struggling with these subtle sensory problems, don't ignore them. Talking with a healthcare provider can help rule out other causes like vision or hearing issues, and it can also lead to early interventions that protect brain health. 3. Muscle weakness. Your muscles and your brain are more connected than most people realize. Research has shown that reduced grip strength in older adults is strongly linked to a higher risk of dementia. This means that something as simple as struggling to open a jar, carry grocery bags, or hold on to objects firmly can sometimes be an early warning sign of changes happening in the brain. Muscle weakness doesn't just affect daily routines, it also reduces physical activity. When your arms and legs feel weaker, you naturally move less, and that lack of movement can speed up the decline of cognitive abilities. Scientists now understand that regular activity and strength training don't just keep the body fit, they also help protect memory and brain function by improving blood flow and supporting new brain cell growth. Frailty in general, losing muscle mass and strength, is closely tied to brain health. If you find yourself feeling weaker than before, or notice that tasks you once did easily are becoming harder, it may be more than just normal aging. It can be your body's way of signaling that the brain is under strain. The encouraging news is that working on muscle health can actually slow down this process. Simple exercises, even lightweight lifting or resistance training, can strengthen both the body and the brain. 4. Sleep disorders. Sleep is one of the most important ways the brain repairs and protects itself, and changes in sleep patterns can be an early signal of dementia. While it's common for older adults to experience some shifts in sleep as they age, certain disturbances go beyond the normal pattern and may point to deeper cognitive issues. Excessive daytime sleepiness, for example, can be a warning sign. If someone who never used to nap suddenly feels overwhelming fatigue and begins sleeping throughout the day, it may be connected to underlying changes in the brain. Insomnia is another red flag. Difficulty falling asleep, waking up multiple times at night, or rising too early without feeling rested are not just frustrating, they may reflect problems in brain function. Restless movements during sleep can also be an indicator. Disorders such as REM sleep behavior disorder, where people physically act out their dreams by kicking, punching, or talking in their sleep, have been linked to certain forms of dementia, like Lewy body dementia. Frequent vivid nightmares or disturbing dreams may also appear in the early stages. Why does this matter? Poor sleep increases inflammation in the brain and speeds up the accumulation of harmful proteins that contribute to memory loss. In other words, sleep problems don't just signal dementia, they may also fuel its progression. 5. Apathy and social withdrawal. Another early sign of dementia that often gets overlooked is a loss of interest in life. This doesn't mean the normal ups and downs we all feel from time to time. It's a deeper and more persistent lack of motivation. Apathy can look like no longer enjoying hobbies you once loved, avoiding social gatherings, or showing little reaction to events that would normally bring joy or sadness. Many families mistake this change for depression or simply slowing down with age, but in dementia, it has a different root. The disease affects the brain's ability to regulate emotions and drive, which leads to withdrawal from daily activities. A person might stop initiating conversations, skip outings with friends, or seem less engaged even in family settings. They may also show less emotional expression, responding with little excitement or concern, even in situations that once mattered deeply to them. This kind of withdrawal can be discouraging for both the individual and their loved ones. It can also increase feelings of isolation, which further harms brain health. Unlike temporary sadness, apathy linked to dementia tends to be consistent and long-lasting, unaffected by external circumstances. Recognizing this sign early is important. Encouraging gentle participation in activities, offering support in social situations, and keeping routines simple can all help maintain engagement. If apathy continues, it's important to bring it up with the healthcare provider, as it may be one of the earliest emotional changes connected to dementia. 6. Language and communication problems. Aphasia. One of the most noticeable early signs of dementia is difficulty with language. This goes beyond occasionally forgetting a word. It becomes a regular struggle to find the right terms, recall familiar names, or keep a conversation flowing. The medical term for this is aphasia, and it often appears years before a formal dementia diagnosis. You might notice someone pausing often, searching for simple words they've used their whole life, or replacing them with the wrong ones. For example, calling a jacket a shirt, or using vague words like thing instead of the correct name. They may also repeat the same phrases without realizing it, or lose track of what they were saying halfway through a sentence. These issues can make conversations frustrating, not only for the person experiencing them, but also for their loved ones. As communication becomes harder, some people begin to withdraw from social interactions out of embarrassment or fear of making mistakes. This withdrawal can increase isolation and worsen cognitive decline. Families sometimes overlook these language struggles, thinking it's just normal aging or distraction, but consistent difficulties with speaking, reading, or understanding should not be ignored. Early recognition of aphasia is important because it allows for quicker medical evaluation and support. Speech therapy, memory exercises, and staying socially active can help slow down communication problems. 10 classic signs of dementia. Beyond the subtle early changes, doctors have identified 10 classic warning signs of dementia that families should never ignore. These are the symptoms that, when they appear consistently, signal the need for medical attention. 1. Memory loss. Forgetting names or dates occasionally is normal, but dementia brings ongoing memory problems that disrupt daily life. People may forget recent conversations, misplace items, or repeat the same stories without realizing it. 2. Trouble following conversations. Dementia makes it hard to stay focused. Someone may lose track of what's being said, forget words, or struggle to follow a story, especially in noisy places. 3. Mood and personality changes. A once cheerful person may become suspicious, anxious, or easily upset. These shifts go beyond normal mood swings. 4. Poor judgment. Everyday decisions may become risky or unusual, like giving away large sums of money, leaving the stove on, or dressing inappropriately for the weather. 5. Confusion with time or place. People may forget the day, month, or even year. They may become lost in familiar neighborhoods or forget why they entered a room. 6. Repetitive questions. Asking the same thing over and over, even after getting an answer, is common because the brain struggles to retain new information. 7. Misplacing objects in odd places. Phones in the refrigerator, shoes in the oven. These unusual placements are a red flag. 8. Hallucinations. Some may hear, see, or smell things that aren't real, which can be frightening. 9. Incontinence. Losing control over bladder or bowel functions can occur in later stages. 10. Wandering and disorientation. Walking away without remembering where or why increases safety risks. Noticing these signs early gives families the chance to seek help, slow progression, and plan for future care. When it comes to dementia, recognizing the signs early can make all the difference. Too often, seniors brush off small changes like forgetfulness, mood shifts, or balance issues as simply part of aging. But these signals may point to something more, and noticing them sooner gives doctors and families a chance to act. Early detection helps rule out other conditions that mimic dementia, such as vitamin deficiencies, thyroid problems, or side effects from medication. And if dementia is present, treatment and lifestyle changes are most effective in the early stages. Lifestyle habits to lower dementia risk. While there is still no cure for dementia, research shows that everyday habits can play a powerful role in lowering the risk and protecting brain health. Small, consistent choices in how we live can make a real difference in how the brain ages. One of the strongest protective factors is keeping the mind active. Just like muscles need exercise, the brain needs stimulation. Reading, solving puzzles, learning new skills, or even playing strategy-based games can strengthen memory and thinking. Social interaction is equally important. Having conversations, sharing stories, or participating in group activities challenges the brain and helps build what doctors call cognitive reserve, which makes the brain more resilient against decline. Physical activity is another key habit. Exercise improves blood flow to the brain, reduces inflammation, and supports the growth of new brain cells. Even simple routines, such as walking, stretching, or light strength training, can improve both body and mind. A healthy diet also supports brain health. Diets like the Mediterranean or MIND plan, rich in fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats, have been linked to lower dementia risk. Managing chronic conditions is just as important. Keeping blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, and weight under control reduces the strain on the brain. Quality sleep also plays a critical role because deep rest clears harmful toxins that can damage memory over time. Finally, avoiding smoking and limiting alcohol protects brain cells from further harm. These habits may seem simple, but together they create a strong defense for the brain. By making these lifestyle choices part of daily life, seniors can improve their chances of staying sharper, healthier, and more independent for many years to come. Latest advances in dementia treatment. While there is still no cure for dementia, recent research has brought new hope. One of the most promising advances is medication designed to target the brain changes linked to Alzheimer's disease. Drugs such as lecanemab and donanemab clear amyloid plaques, proteins that damage brain cells and contribute to memory loss. Studies show these treatments may slow cognitive decline, especially when started early. Researchers are also exploring gene therapy to address inherited risks and brain stimulation therapies that use gentle electrical or magnetic signals to improve memory and focus. Combination treatments that target multiple causes of brain decline are under study as well, with the goal of longer-lasting benefits. Doctors remind us that these breakthroughs work best when dementia is detected early. Alongside medical advances, lifestyle habits like exercise, healthy eating, mental activity, and good sleep remain powerful tools to protect the brain. These steps together give real hope for a stronger future. Dementia may be a difficult subject, but understanding it early makes a world of difference. The first changes, whether in memory, mood, sleep, or even posture, are easy to overlook, yet they hold the key to slowing down the condition and protecting independence. Recognizing these signs is not about fear, it's about giving yourself and your loved ones the chance to plan ahead, get medical guidance, and stay in control for as long as possible. While science continues to search for a cure, you are not powerless. Daily choices like moving your body, feeding your brain with healthy foods, keeping your mind engaged, and getting proper sleep can all reduce risk and support long-term brain health. Pairing these habits with medical advice when needed helps build resilience against decline. Most importantly, remember that you do not have to face this alone. Millions of families in the United States and across the world are dealing with the same challenges. Opening up the conversation, seeking support, and staying informed can make this journey less overwhelming and more hopeful. If this message spoke to you, take it as a reminder to pay close attention to your health and the health of those you love. The small steps you take today, whether it's scheduling a checkup, adding a walk to your routine, or picking up a book to keep your mind sharp, can help protect your future. Dementia is not inevitable, and action today can make tomorrow stronger.